Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. US President Donald Trump has warned supporters that Democratic opponents may try to steal November's election as his party anointed him as their candidate for the White House. Mr. Trump has repeatedly suggested an unprecedented surge in postal voting could lead to widespread fraud, even though experts and voting officials say this is a false conspiracy theory. Opinion polls suggest he is lagging behind the Democratic candidate, Joe Biden.
We caught them doing some really bad things in 2016. Let's see what happens. We caught them doing some really bad things. We have to be very careful because they're trying it again with this whole 80 million mail-in ballots that they're working on, sending them out to people that didn't ask for them. They didn't ask, they just get them. And it's not fair, and it's not right, and it's not going to be possible to tabulate, in my opinion. It's just my opinion.
There have been clashes for a second night in Wisconsin with buildings and cars set on fire following the police shooting of an unarmed black man. Video of the Kenosha shooting, taken from across the street and shared on social media, shows Mr. Blake leaning into the car and an officer grabbing his shirt before shooting him numerous times in the back. Protesters defied a dusk-to-dawn curfew as they confronted law enforcement officers in riot gear outside the county courthouse, blocks away from where the incident took place. Mr. Blake survived the shooting and is in a stable condition following surgery. Some protesters set fires and threw bricks and petrol bombs at police, leading authorities to close public buildings and prompting Governor Tony Evers to order National Guard troops to help maintain order. The Berlin hospital treating the seriously ill Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny says he appears to have been poisoned. The hospital released a statement saying clinical evidence suggests an intoxication through a poisonous substance, but doctors who treated him in Russia say the substance was not present. Mr. Navalny fell ill in an internal flight in Russia on Thursday. His supporters suspect poison was placed in a cup of tea at the airport in Tomsk. Ex-Bosnian Serb commander Ratko Mladic is appealing against his conviction for genocide and crimes against humanity at a court in The Hague. Known as the Butcher of Bosnia, Mladic was jailed for life in November 2017. He was the military commander of Bosnian Serb forces against Bosnian, Croat and Bosnian armies. The court found he significantly contributed to the genocide in Srebrenica in 1995, where more than 7,000 Bosniak men and boys were murdered. Dozens of people are feared to still be trapped in the debris of a 5-story building collapsed in an industrial town in western India. Emergency services say they have found 76 people alive, including this 4-year-old boy who was pulled from the rubble and carried to safety. But there are still around 14 people unaccounted for. The building contained around 47 flats and fell like a deck of cards, according to a police officer. Authorities have yet to ascertain the cause of the collapse and the number of casualties, while local residents suggest the old and cracked building imploded due to torrential rain. The sinking of the stem of the Japanese bulk carrier that caused a huge oil spill off the coast of Mauritius has been completed. The operation started on Friday but was slowed down because of rough sea conditions during the weekend. Japan's disaster relief team helping the cleanup of the massive oil spill said oil contamination and the body of the stranded vessel could further deteriorate the sea environment. US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has arrived in Sudan from Israel as the United States promotes stronger ties between the two countries. Mr. Pompeo will meet Sudan's Prime Minister and the head of its ruling council during a brief stopover in Khartoum to discuss US support for the civilian-led government and for deepening the Sudan-Israel relationship. The US has been restoring its own ties with Sudan following the ousting of the former leader Omar al-Bashir in April last year. And finally, to make sure Christmas can go ahead as usual, Santas in the UK have had training lessons to learn how they can make traditional grottos COVID-safe this year.
And welcome to the first socially distanced edition of Santa School.
The entertainment company Ministry of Fun has been running Santa School for 25 years and this year decided to get everyone together even earlier than normal to reassure their clients and the public that it's possible to make the experience safe. This year Santa will wear a customised mask, there will be socially distanced grottos and a new system to avoid personal contact between children and Santa during the traditional gift giving using a sleigh. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.